It's a real horror story. This story will blow your mind. Let's begin the story. It's true, I am nervous, terribly nervous, but why would you call me mad? The disease had sharpened my senses, not destroyed them. Above all was the acute hearing. I could hear everything, earth, heaven, and even hell. So how can I be mad? Listen carefully and I'll tell you the story. I loved the old man. He had never wronged me. He had never insulted me. I had no desire for his gold. But one thing haunted me, his eye. A pale blue eye with a film over it like the eye of a vulture. Whenever it gazed upon me, my blood ran cold, and slowly, very slowly, I made up my mind to take his life. For 7 nights I crept to his chamber. Every night at midnight I opened the door just a crack. But the eye, oh, that cursed eye, was always shut. I could not kill him while it was shut. It was not the old man who vexed me, but his evil eye. And so I waited. On the 8th night, I was more cautious than ever before. I moved slower than a shadow, barely daring to breathe. The room was pitch black, for the shutters were closed tight, and the old man, unaware of my plan, slept soundly. But this night, something was different. Perhaps my thumb slipped, for the latch made a slight noise. The old man stirred in his bed. I froze, and for an hour, neither of us moved a muscle. Finally, I heard it, his low groan of mortal terror. He knew something was there, lurking in the darkness, though he could not see it. I laughed to myself, knowing he was afraid. Little did he know, there was no escaping what was to come. I inched the lantern open, and at last, a thin ray of light fell upon his eye, his horrible vulture eye. It stared right at me, wide open, and I was filled with fury. Now was the time. In an instant, I leaped into the room, shrieking like a madman. He screamed once, a muffled cry, as I dragged him to the floor and smothered him beneath the heavy bed. His heart beat for several minutes after he had died, but soon it too stopped. I smiled, for my deed was done. The eye would haunt me no more. I dismembered the corpse, taking great care to conceal the remains beneath the floorboards. There was not a single bloodstain, no trace of the crime. I had outwitted them all. For 3 days there was no suspicion. But then there came a knock at my door. It was the police. A neighbor had heard a scream in the night, and they were sent to investigate. I was calm, for what had I to fear? I invited them in, showing them around, even bringing chairs into the very room where I had hidden the body. They suspected nothing, and I was pleased. But then I heard it, a sound, faint at first but growing louder, a dull, rhythmic thumping. It was the old man's heart. I laughed nervously, talking faster to drown out the noise, but it only grew louder, more insistent. The officers heard nothing, but I could not escape it. The sound filled the room, pulsing in my ears, deafening me. Louder, louder, I could stand it no longer. "Villains!" I shrieked. "Tear up the floorboards! Here, here, it is the beating of his hideous heart!"